this sport has helped me so much in my life. I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
There's a unique kind of silence that exists only at the pinnacle of the heavyweight world. It's not the quiet of an empty room, it's a suffocating, almost tangible stillness that follows a collision so brutal it halts the heartbeat of an entire stadium. For 5 rounds, the world watched as a social media disruptor attempted to outmaneuver a mountain. But in the 6th, the mountain struck. When Anthony Joshua's right hand finally landed, it wasn't merely a punch, it was a jarring reality check. As the referee's count reverberated through the arena, the boldness that had built an empire gave way to a stark, clinical emergency.
My mom wanted me not to fight Anthony Joshua. I should have listened to my mom. My dad pushed me to this. Now I'm alone in the hospital, got to eat liquid now.
The image of Jake Paul lying face down on the canvas is already carved into boxing history. But it was the moments that followed that left the entire community in shock. While the crowd erupted in cheers for Joshua, a different story was unfolding in Paul's corner. There was no celebration of a moral victory or recognition of a valiant effort. Instead, trainers checked his vitals with trembling hands, and the medical team's concern was palpable. In an instant, the scene shifted from a global spectacle to a life-or-death emergency. Joshua stood at the center of the ring, a stark reminder that, for some, boxing is a business, but for others, it is a brutal, unforgiving blood sport.
On your win tonight in Miami, how are you feeling right now?
Calm, chilled, good to get the win, but there's a lot I could have done better. So a bit of mixed emotion.
Like what? Could
have done a lot better. Cut the ring off. Maybe done what I done in the 6th, in the 1st, 2nd, even in the 1st. But a win's a win, and that's why we're here talking about.
You talked about having the weight of the boxing world on your shoulders, like the purists, right?
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that type of pressure when the media is so fickle? 1 minute they love you, 1 minute they hate you. Do you feel that even though you won tonight, you're still not going to be pleased?
So with the media, how I operate the media is you got negative and you got positive. So I do honestly focus on the positive. I don't really focus on the negative. And secondly, I just understand that while I'm in the hot seat, so let's say there's a seat, and right now I'm elevated to that hot seat, I gotta take all the shit that comes with being in that hot seat, and then once I move on from that hot seat, no one's gonna care about me anyway. So I just gotta
That's not true.
It's true, it's how it goes. It's how it goes. So I know how it works. I understand the cycle. I'm currently in that motion. I'm dealing with some shit at the minute, but it won't last forever. Have some tough skin, and then in a couple of years, I'll be sitting back watching someone else deal with that shit. Thank you, come on, champ, have some tough skin, you'll be alright.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Good to see you, Michelle.
The top of the heavyweight world. Silence hits differently suffocating after a collision that stops a stadium's heartbeat. For 5 rounds, a social media disruptor tried to outmaneuver a mountain. But in the 6th, Anthony Joshua's right hand landed, not just as a punch, but a brutal reality check. Jake Paul's face on the canvas shocked the crowd, while his corners scrambled with fear and medical urgency. Shock turned to rumors of a shattered jaw and emergency transport. Joshua, calm but lethal, hadn't just won, he had dismantled a man, making his killer instinct a stark reality.
We think he broke his jaw, he's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower, he drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA, and I think the recovery time from the doctors and surgeons we've already talked to is...
Full extent of the damage became clear hours later, a double jaw fracture. Not a minor break, but a complete structural collapse. When the X-ray hit social media, the internet erupted. The metal and displacement in the bone made one thing unmistakable. This wasn't a spectacle anymore. It was the harsh cost of trying to bridge the gap between influencer and elite heavyweight. Paul's bravado persisted, claiming he could fight again in 10 days. But the medical reality paints a far darker picture, a long, painful recovery that could include having his jaw wired shut for months.
Paul, he stated he had to do surgeries. He broke his jaw on 2 different locations on both sides. He lost many teeth that he has to replace, or he replaced already. And after that, Jake called out Canelo. But he need to focus on Gervonta for real, because Canelo gonna do him dirty. With that being said, Jake said, quote, "Just got out of surgery. Everything went smooth. Thanks for all the love. A lot of pain and stiffness. Gotta eat liquid for 7 days, even on Christmas." So, to the amazing team of Miami University Hospital, everyone was so gracious and caring. Double broken jaw. Give me Canelo in 10 days. Jaw broken, heart and balls intact. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. Okay, now that's a smart thing to do because he did fight a super heavyweight in AJ. But I don't think it's going to be any sweeter at cruiserweight, but we'll see.
Now the word on everyone's lips is retirement. Headlines scream it, and for good reason. After an injury this severe, the question isn't just when, but if Paul should ever take a hit like that again. While click-driven claims abound, the reality lies in the indefinite break he's forced to take. You don't just bounce back from a shattered face. And even a disruptor with a big heart can't fight through a broken jaw.
Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either gonna give up or you're gonna get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best, and I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up, and I take my hat off to him. So America, I think you have someone who could potentially, if he still has the heart for it, come back again, dust the dirt off his shoulder, and come again and maybe sell out this center sometime in 2026. Maybe against a Gervonta Davis, a Ryan Garcia, who knows?
Inside the Paul camp, the mood is predictably defensive. Logan Paul stepped up as the protective older brother, praising Jake as a warrior whose spirit can't be broken. But in boxing's cold reality, spirit alone doesn't win fights. Skill and durability do. The influencer boxing bubble, once thought untouchable, finally hit a wall it couldn't talk its way through. Critics argue this was inevitable, a promotional genius matched against a seasoned world-class knockout artist. It wasn't a question of if, but when.
Lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you. AJ talked about sucking out or taking out the man's soul. He didn't take out his soul. He did take out his energy, and that's when he was able to get the finish.
And just a quick follow-up. Obviously, we don't want to look too far into the future. I know you said Jake wants a break. He's going through some, he's coming off a tough fight. But, I mean, like, it seems written on the wall that that would be an obvious fight to, look forward to in the future. Could you see Jake versus Francis Ngannou?
The whole situation with Francis was very confusing to me. And he's done a couple of interviews, back and forth on terms of how he thought about our conversation. I think Francis is a revolutionary when it comes to fight sports. He stood up against the UFC, showed what kind of man he is. And this process was just, again, a little bit confusing for me, given who I know who he is.
Adding another layer of chaos, Tyson Fury weighed in. Rather than acknowledging Joshua's dominant performance, he used the moment to stir the pot, mocking the victory and claiming he would have finished the fight even faster.
Man, I ain't a YouTuber or a man half your size. 37-year-old at the end of his career fighting a YouTuber, a Disney Channel guy, who Tommy B, and now he's talking about killing and all that to try and sell. Please, barking up the wrong tree, idiot. You're a classless loser coming off a 15 months knockout defeat to a local lad. Imagine if someone from Morecambe knocked me out. If I ever come across you, bum, I'm knocking you back out. You big bum, useless dog.
The business of pain is a lucrative one. in controversy. Sells. Despite the medical trauma and the very real possibility that Paul's chin may never be the same. Talk of a rematch began before the blood was even cleaned from the canvas. There's a morbid curiosity in seeing how someone responds when their career momentum is violently halted. Will Jake return humbled, or will delusion take over once the shock wears off? The world wants a comeback story, but the body may have other plans. Last night, Jake didn't fight to win, he fought to survive, and even that he struggled to do. He sold the fight brilliantly. It's what he is.